Janavallabha Girivardha Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Padradika His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami ISKCON Samstapakacharya Savior of the whole world Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Nitai Gaur Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottama Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayed. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is entitled Krishna, the Source of all incarnations. This is something very confidential revealed in Srimad Bhagavatam. The general understanding is that Narayana, the Supreme Personality, is God in the spiritual world. And he incarnates various Narayana incarnates in this material world in various incarnations. Krishna, Ram, Ram. Yes, Narayana incarnates, that's correct. But Narayana is Krishna himself. Krishna is Narayana. Narayana is Krishna. There's only one person, Supreme Soul, one Supreme Soul. But he is not limited to one form. We are also individual souls. We have our spiritual form, but our form is one form. We are limited. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not limited to one form. He has unlimited forms. And in all those forms, he is the same person, but in different moods, according to the relationship with his devotees. He is in different forms. He is in different moods. He has different kinds of reciprocations according to the way the devotees want to serve him. But when he incarnates, the Supreme Lord incarnates in this material world, he assumes a form suitable for the incarnation. So in the spiritual world, the Lord has his form in which he is eternally situated. So those forms are basically only two types of forms: two-handed form and four-handed form. Now when he incarnates as Krishna in the material world, he comes in his original two-handed form as he is. He does not assume a human-like form. Whereas when he incarnates as Rama, he assumes a two-handed human-like form. But all the forms of the Lord are completely spiritual. That's why I say human-like form. It is not a human form. Either Rama or Krishna. But the difference is, original form of Lord Rama in the spiritual world is four-handed form, the form of Vasudeva. Rama, Lakshmana, Shatrughna. Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. Their forms are completely spiritual. They are all incarnations of the Supreme Lord in the material world. But originally in the spiritual world, they are Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Vasudeva incarnates as Rama. Sankarshana incarnates as Lakshmana. Then Pradyumna incarnates as Bharata. And sorry for the interruption. Pradyumna incarnates as Bharata, and Aniruddha incarnates as Shatrughna. Now, Krishna incarnates as Krishna. But Krishna does not assume a human-like form. That is his original spiritual form. Rather, our form in this material world resembles Krishna's spiritual form in his personal abode. So this we understand from what is revealed in this chapter. Krishna is the source of all incarnation. That verse was an earlier verse, a very important verse. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Ete chamshat kala pumsaha. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has explained this very elaborately in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. What is the meaning of Swayam Bhagavan? All the incarnations are Bhagavan. But Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, who is appearing in his original form. The same form is coming here. But that does not mean he is absent in the spiritual world when he incarnates in this material world. He is not absent. Neither Lord Ramachandra is absent in the spiritual world when he incarnates here. No. Krishna, Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, they are simultaneously present in the spiritual world even when they incarnate in this material world. In fact, they are simultaneously present everywhere all the time. So, when they incarnate, they become visible to our ordinary vision. And when they disappear, they become invisible. That's why we say disappearance. It's not death. It's not birth and death. Our case, what happens? We are forced, whether we like it or not, to take this material body, to accept this material body. And when we enter this material body, it is said we are taking birth in this material. Krishna, Rama, they appear to take birth, but they have no birth. Neither they take birth. Because they never accept a material form. They come in their spiritual form, and those spiritual forms are variegated. Even Krishna has variegated spiritual forms in the spiritual world and the material world. Like Krishna in Vrindavan is in the form of a cowherd boy. And that is also in the spiritual world. He's a cowherd boy. He's tending cows, whether in the earthly pastime form or in the original form in the spiritual world, in Goloka Vrindavana or Gokula Vrindavana, both places, his form is the same cowherd boy form. Even in cowherd boy form, there are varieties. What is that? For Mother Yashoda, he is a small child, say 2 or 3 years old. For the cowherd boys, he's a 5-year-old cowherd boy. And for Radharani, he's 16-year-old Shyama Sundara, the same cowherd boy, same Krishna, original Krishna. So, spiritual form is completely different from material form. This is a very important understanding we should have. It's not easy to understand what is spiritual. It's sometimes very difficult to understand. Therefore, the Mayavadis conveniently say, God has no form. And of course, the scriptures do say God has no form. Nirakar. That Nirakar means he has no material form like we have presently. All the creatures, created beings in this material world, all of them have various created forms. Form of a fish, form of a tortoise, form of a boar, form of a human being. All these are material created forms. Krishna appears as Krishna, Rama, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, all are transcendental forms, completely spiritual. They are 100% spiritual forms. Those type of forms, no birth, no death, no deterioration, no material qualities, no ignorance. So those forms are completely spiritual. And the material forms are characteristically temporary. They are full of ignorance, full of miseries. Krishna's forms are full of bliss, full of knowledge, eternality. So these differences exist. Therefore, when scriptures say Nirakar, God is Nirakar, absolute truth is Nirakar, it means that no material form, no material form, none of the material forms is assumed by Krishna or Rama, Narasimha. But elsewhere in the scriptures, in the Brahma Samhita, Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha. Vigraha means form. What kind of form? Satchidananda form. Eternal form, full of knowledge and bliss. So that form is different. And our form, originally in the spiritual world, which is our real form, which is our actual form as spirit soul, that is also Satchidananda Vigraha. Also have an eternal form full of bliss and knowledge. So to revive our spiritual form is the process of self-realization. This is another great secret revealed in the Bhagavatam. What is that? Mukti hitva anyatha rupam Swarupena vyavasthitihi. Mukti, what is liberation? What is the meaning of liberation? The Mayavadis and many other philosophers also, they think mukti means merging into some impersonal Brahman. Yes, that is mukti. There is one type of mukti, sayujya mukti. But that is not permanent liberation. That is not permanent liberation. Permanent liberation, ultimate liberation is hitva anyatha rupam. Give up all these material forms, assumed forms, and swarupena vyavastitihi, becomes situated in our swarupa, in our constitutional form, original form, in our relationship with Krishna. That is swarupa. So that's a very big subject that is discussed in detail in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna just mentions very briefly that you come back to me. Mame vaishyasi satyante pratijane priyosime. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam shashvatam napnuvanti mahatma samsiddhim paramam gata. So in the Bhagavad Gita, very briefly Krishna mentions this, Swarupa. But in the Bhagavatam, in great detail it is explained. Whatever is there in the Bhagavad Gita, the same thing is explained in very, very great detail in the Bhagavatam. 700 verses are explained in 18,000 verses in great detail in the Bhagavatam. So study the Bhagavatam after studying the Bhagavad Gita. Nevertheless, you can side by side read both. There is no prohibition. But you should always be careful what will be explained in this particular verse about receiving this knowledge properly. So, text 42, kindly repeat after me. Saha tu samshravayam asa satu samshravayam asa Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavishtam Gangayam Paritam Paramarshibihi Satu samshravayamasa Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavishtam Gangayam Paritam Paramarshibihi. Satu samshravayamasa Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavishtam Gangayam Paritam Paramarshibihi. Satu samshravayamasa Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavishtam Gangayam Paritam Paramarshibihi. Satu samshravayamasa Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavishtam Gangaya paritam paramarshibhi. Saha, the son of Vyasadeva. Who is that son of Vyasadeva? Shukadev Goswami. To again samshravayamasa, made them audible, Maharajam, unto the emperor, Parikshitam, of the name Parikshit, Praya Upavishtam, who sat until death without food or drink, Gangayam, on the bank of the Ganges, Paritam, being surrounded, Parama Rishibihi, by great sages. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Translation. Shukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges awaiting death without taking food or drink. Please repeat this translation after me. Shukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges awaiting death without taking food or drink. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. All transcendental messages are received properly in the chain of disciplic succession. This disciplic succession is called parampara. Unless therefore Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literatures are received through the parampara system, the reception of knowledge is not bona fide. Vyasadeva delivered the message to Shukadev Goswami, and from Shukadev Goswami, Suta Goswami received the message. One should therefore receive the message of Bhagavatam from Suta Goswami or from his representative, and not from any irrelevant interpreter. Emperor Parikshit received the information of his death in time, and he at once left his kingdom and family and sat down on the bank of the Ganges to fast death. All great sages, rishis, philosophers, mystics, etc., went there due to his imperial position. They offered many suggestions about his immediate duty, and at last it was settled that he would hear from Shukadev Goswami about Lord Krishna. Thus the Bhagavatam was spoken to him. Sripad Shankaracharya, who preached Mayavada philosophy and stressed the impersonal feature of the Absolute, also recommended that one must take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, for there is no hope of gain from debating. Indirectly, Sripad Shankaracharya admitted that what he had preached in the flowery grammatical interpretations of the Vedanta Sutra cannot help one at the time of death. At the critical hour of death, one must recite the name of Govinda. This is the recommendation of all great transcendentalists. Shukadev Goswami had long ago stated the same truth, that at the end one must remember Narayana. That is the essence of all spiritual activities. In pursuance of this eternal truth, Srimad Bhagavatam was heard by Emperor Parikshit, and it was recited by the able Shukadev Goswami. And both the speaker and the receiver of the messages of Bhagavatam were duly delivered by the same medium. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta. Om Jnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya. Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatvideshitare Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this chapter, Sutta Goswami is answering the first 6 questions asked by the sages in Naimisharanya. That's the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, narration of Bhagavatam by Vyasadeva. So it is explained, these sages of Naimisharanya, about 80,000 sages, they assembled. The Prabhupada calls this spiritual conference in Naimisharanya. Prabhupada says this is also called Kumbha Mela. Means it's a spiritual conference where great personality like Sutta Goswami, Shukadeva Goswami, they speak on this transcendental subject matter for enlightening the common people, the audience. But this assembly in Naimisharanya is not ordinary people. It's not even some brahmanas, learned scholars. No. It is of great transcendentalists. And they came from all over the universe. Especially when Shukadeva Goswami is speaking. They came from all over the universe. And they wanted to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because they are mystics. They are mystic power. Yoga Siddhi. So they can foresee events. And they could understand that Parikshit is retiring and dedicating the remainder of his life for receiving this message of Bhagavatam from Shukadeva Goswami. So they all arrived to that same spot where Parikshit was sitting down to hear this message. They all came. Similarly, when Sutta Goswami spoke for the second time, so first Narada instructed Vyasa to compile Bhagavatam. When Vyasadeva actually compiled Bhagavatam, he put it in writing. And then after that, he taught it to his son. Vyasadeva taught to his son Shukadeva Goswami, saying Srimad Bhagavatam. And Shukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj. In that assembly, where Parikshit Maharaj was sitting with so many great saintly persons from all over the universe, Sutta Goswami was also present. Sutta Goswami heard very attentively. And later on, Sutta Goswami spoke the same Bhagavatam to the sages assembled in Naimisharanya in that spiritual conference. He spoke. So, these sages in Naimisharanya, they are asking 6 questions. And Sutta Goswami completes answering those 6 questions. Immediate replies in just few verses in the 2 chapters, 2nd and 3rd chapters of the 1st canto. So the next verse is the answer to the last question, the 6th question, 43rd verse. But after completing, giving brief reply to all their 6 questions, Sutta Goswami is noting down that these sages are very eager to hear about Krishna. Why are they asking these specific 6 questions? They are asking these 6 questions because they are very eager to hear about Krishna. So, Suta Goswami is informing these sages that since you are very, very eager to hear about Krishna, I shall narrate the Srimad Bhagavatam, which I heard from Shukadev Goswami. That is the 41st verse. Comes later. 44th verse. You'll hear this in a later class. So he is describing the history of the Bhagavatam. Suta Goswami described the history of the Bhagavatam. That Vyasadeva compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. This Srimad Bhagavatam, 40th verse of the same chapter, the previous verse. This Srimad Bhagavatam is a literary incarnation of God. It is the incarnation of Krishna in the form of this literature. And it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. Vyasadeva is no ordinary personality. He is the one type of incarnation of the Supreme God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. And it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Now, Srila Vyasadeva delivered it to his son Shukadeva Goswami, who is the most respected among the self-realized. After extracting the cream of all Vedic literatures and histories of the universe. And today's verse, Shukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges awaiting death without taking food or drink. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, all transcendental messages are received properly in the chain of disciplic succession. This disciplic succession is called parampara. The same thing is told by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. Krishna first spoke the Bhagavad Gita to sun god Vivaswan. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanam. Vivaswan manave praha manurikshvakave. Evam parampara. So, Krishna speaking to Vivaswan, the sun god. Sun god speaking to his son Manu. Vaivasvata Manu. And Vivaswan's son. And Manu speaking to Ikshvaku. All these are Rajarshis. They are saintly kings. So Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge is coming down in one parampara of the saintly kings. Similarly, Parikshit is a saintly king, Rajarshi. Parikshit is hearing from Shukadeva Goswami. Because they are saintly kings, they are not only expert in administration and ruling over the citizens, but they are also very serious transcendentalists, spiritualists. So they also study, hear, read, understand the spiritual subject matter. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam, among all various branches of knowledge, learning, The most important is Adhyatma Vidya. It's also called Brahma Vidya. It's also called Atma Vidya. Spiritual science. Spiritual science. Because only the spiritual science can save us from repetition of birth and death. Only the spiritual science can solve this problem. The other branches of learning may be useful for different aspects of our material existence, but they cannot solve this fundamental problem of material existence. Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, doshanudarshanam. Krishna points out the fundamental problems of material existence after telling that material existence essence is miseries, dukkhalayam. Material world is dukkhalaya. What is the meaning of alaya? Place filled with something. It's a place. Yeah, alaya means a place. A place filled with something, like Himalaya. It's actually a place filled with hima, snow. Similarly, dukkhalaya, material world is called dukkhalaya, like Krishna in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So what is dukkhalaya? A place filled with dukkha, miseries, distress, dangers, difficulties. Same thing is told in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Padam padam yat vipadam. Material world means every step there is danger. It is filled with dangers. Every step there is danger. So, in this material world which is filled with miseries, there are various types of miseries. But among them, 4 are very, 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 very fundamental miseries. And they should be taken serious note of. As far as these difficulties that come, summer, winter, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Agama apayinaha anityaha tam titikshasva bharata. While we are living in this material world, there will be some difficulties or some inconveniences or some distress due to changing seasons, summer and winter. Of course, in America, summer is welcome. But in India, summer is not welcome. Neither summer nor winter, at least in North India, Delhi. Neither summer nor winter is welcome. Of course, in America, winter is never welcome. It's terribly cold. But Krishna says, yeah, there are inconveniences, but learn to tolerate them. But when it comes to the misery of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, he doesn't say tolerate them. He says make a solution to them. You see, Bhagavad Gita is very, very important in this regard. Ordinary people, common people, who don't have higher understanding, they are busy counteracting miseries. But they somehow never take note of the fundamental miseries. Or even if they take note of it, because it is not possible to counteract those miseries by our limited intelligence, with limited knowledge, with limited abilities, we cannot really counteract those miseries. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Of course, Janma is a misery they don't even know. When a child is born, oh, so cute, so nice. But Bhagavatam says, What is that cute child undergone 9 months in the mother's womb for taking birth in this material world? Even though Shastra says mother's womb is the best place for the child's development of the body. The initial development, very critical, very crucial for developing that body, precious human form of body. Mother's womb is the best place and in fact the only place where the body can develop very nicely. But still, in terms of comforts, mother's womb is not at all comfortable. Not at all comfortable. Why? Because it's an airtight bag. To protect the child's development of the body, it's an airtight bag. But airtight bag means suffocation for the child. Suffocation. And then mother's womb is filled with so many worms. And then there are so many secretions, acid and all kinds of juices, pancreatic juice, all kinds of juices, bile juice. So many juices are there, liquids are there. And also the waste that is generated after assimilating the food. Everything is there in the mother's womb. So Bhagavatam says the child is surrounded by so many worms biting it. But fortunately, by Krishna's arrangement, 7 months the child doesn't have external consciousness in the mother's womb. 7 months, no external consciousness. 6 months actually. The beginning of the 7th month, 7th, 8th and 9th month, the child has to, it gets external consciousness. It's part of the development of this body, the various faculties in this body. So, 7th month, it gets external consciousness. It begins to experience, I am in a very, very difficult situation. There are millions of worms. They're all biting. And it is biting not this kind of skin, tender flesh. Skin is yet to develop. The last covering, end of the 9th month, skin will develop. Till then, it's the tender flesh that is just beginning to grow. That tender flesh, imagine, it is one ant bites our toe. Immediately, we try to remove that ant. Correct? The child wriggles inside, helplessly is suffering. Helplessly suffering the biting. So what happens? Krishna has made a mechanism in this body that when there is extreme pain, he puts us to sleep. How does he put us to sleep? We become unconscious. The consciousness is withdrawn from the body, external body. So then we don't feel the pain. You heard, right? Sometimes people go into coma. Why? Because the pain is so much they cannot even tolerate. It's intolerable, excruciating pain, as they say in English. So what is the solution? Krishna says, temporarily I'll withdraw the consciousness. He's sitting as Paramatma in our heart. He's our topmost well-wisher. So he withdraws that consciousness, external consciousness. And then we don't feel the pain. But then when the consciousness is withdrawn, the person appears to be like, what is he, dead? Like a dead person lying there, like a dead body, but not dead. Because they can make out, doctors can make out. Heart is beating. All the vital functions are intact. So, the child alternately has consciousness and becomes unconscious. After some time, the unconscious state, it comes back to the conscious state. And again, the worms bite, 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 bite. Again, it goes to unconscious state. And then a fortunate child may pray to the Supreme Lord, let this be my last birth. And Krishna says, yes, the human form of life, it is possible to put an end to this kind of birth in the material world if you take to Krishna consciousness. But as soon as the child comes out, generally, it forgets all the suffering inside the womb. Like all of us have gone through it. Every one of us, we go through it. Forgot. I don't remember. Does anybody remember? Why? Because our memories are, Mummy has taken care of me so nicely. It's a fact. Mother really, really, really takes care of the child the best. And even the father, everybody is trying to give the child some nice experience, nice care. Everyone gives, especially a small, helpless child. So our memories are very sweet, nice memories. There may be some memories of some pain due to some infection or disease or some stomach upset or whatever. But that is like short-lived. And anyway, parents are there, doctors are there, so many well-wishers are there to help us. But inside the mother's womb, helpless. Even the mother doesn't know what the child is undergoing. And the child has no recourse but to suffer. So to get out of this birth and death, this miseries, fundamental miseries, Krishna says, you remember me, especially at the time of death. Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam. If you remember me at the time of death, then prayati, you come back. Where? Madbhavam, to my abode. To my abode, you come back. And what is the nature of Krishna's abode? Mamupetya, having attained my abode, come back to my abode. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti. You don't take birth again in this dukkhalaya, ashashvata, temporary, miserable material world. You don't take birth. But then you attain samsiddhim paramam gataha. You attain the highest state of perfection, complete perfection. Siddhi means perfection. Samsiddhi is ultimate perfection. Samsiddhim paramam gataha. Same thing is explained in Prabhupada here, that when Parikshit had received the information of his death, how he received it will be described in the later part of this first canto. Then he sat down on the bank of the Ganges to fast till death, without taking any food or drink. He heard the Srimad Bhagavatam, full attention. And there were many saintly persons. They offered different suggestions. Parikshit asked the saintly persons, what should I do? I have 7 days to achieve perfection. What should I do? So they gave different suggestions, but none of them said that 7 days is enough time to achieve perfection by following the methods they were suggesting. Till Shukadeva Goswami arrived, the greatest transcendentalist of his time, and everybody directed their attention, Parikshit attention, please inquire from Shukadeva Goswami. So he inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, what should I do? Shukadeva Goswami, he expressed his anxiety. I have only 7 days time. Shukadeva Goswami said, 1 moment is enough. By the method I suggest. How much? 1 moment. And he gave a historical, narrated a historical incident of one Khatwanga Rishi. He was a Rajarshi, he was a king, and he was also a saintly person. He had one muhurta time. One muhurta is 48 minutes on our time scale. But he was in the heavenly planets at the time of his, when the death was about to come. There was only one muhurta time left. So immediately, when he came to know, I have only one muhurta time left in this human form body, immediately, he had already practiced Krishna consciousness. So immediately gave up all the other activities and simply sat down, fixed his mind, attention on Krishna, lotus feet of Krishna. In that state of complete absorption in meditation on the lotus feet of Krishna, he gave up his body. Straight went back to God. Perfection. So same thing Shukadeva Goswami is telling now. I'm going to narrate the Srimad Bhagavatam. You simply sit and hear and fix your mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. So, Shukadeva Goswami assured Parikshit Maharaj, and through Parikshit Maharaj is informing all of us, you can also achieve perfection provided you simply become absorbed in hearing or chanting or remembering or any other method of fixing your mind, your attention on Krishna. This is what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Also, the same message given by Shukadeva Goswami. So generally, it is recommended, because remembering is not easy for everyone. But everyone can chant the holy name of Supreme Lord. Everyone can chant. So, ante Narayana Smritihi. That's what Shukadeva Goswami says in second canto when he begins to answer Parikshit's questions. So, same thing is told by Shankaracharya. That's surprising. Shukadeva Goswami is a devotee. Shankaracharya is apparently a Mayavadi teacher of Mayavada philosophy. Mayavada philosophy, they are engaged in cultivation of spiritual knowledge. Shankaracharya has given so many books for those who want to cultivate this type of spiritual knowledge for achieving liberation from material body. So in those explanations of the Mayavada philosophy, he is given so many interpretations of the Vedas, but at the end of all his works, he composed one Bhaja Govindam, one prayer to Krishna. Bhaja Govindam. In that Bhaja Govindam stotra, he is telling, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. We are all mudhas. We are all foolish people. We are ignorant people. Ichha dvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti. At the beginning of the birth in this material world, at the beginning, we are all born into ignorance. Therefore, Shankaracharya addresses all those who have taken birth in this material world, created beings, as Mudhamate. And what is his instruction? Bhaja Govindam. And how to do this Bhaja Govindam? That is, render devotional service to Govinda, Krishna. And particularly he mentions Samprapte Sannihite Kale, when death is near. Sannihite, when it is very near, when you are about to die. Nahi nahi rakshati dukkrum karane. All this study of this Mayavada philosophy is not going to save you. is not going to protect you. Nahi nahi rakshati. There is no protection from that. You can only expect protection from Govinda by rendering devotional service to him. And in the Bhagavatam and all other devotional literature, it is said, among the different methods of executing devotional service, Bhagavatam lists 9 different methods. The most important are the first 2 methods, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Shravanam, Kirtanam, most important. And that Shravanam, Kirtanam has been simplified by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That you just chant and hear, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So, this is the recommendation, even of Shankaracharya. Dhyayam Gita Nama Sahasram, Dhyayam Shripati Rupa Majasram. It's particularly highlighting the method of worshipping or rendering service, devotional service to Govinda. By these methods, meditate on the instructions of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Dhyayam Gita Nama Sahasram. Meditate or chant the 1000 names of Vishnu. Nama Sahasram refers to Vishnu Sahasranam. Dhyayam Shripati Rupa Majasram. Meditate on the form of Shripati, the husband of the goddess of fortune, Krishna. Meditate on the form of Krishna. That form of Krishna, we have been given the deity form, Radha. So meditate on the form of Krishna. Remember the form of Krishna. Meditation means smaranam. In bhakti, what is the method of meditation that is suggested? In bhakti process, it is smaranam. Smaranam means meditation. Remembering ante narayana smritihi antakale cha mameva smaran muktva. But that smaranam in Kali Yuga is not easy, because we are always disturbed in so many ways in Kali Yuga. Prayena alpayusha sabhya kalavasmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrutaha. Always disturbed mind, short duration of life, age of quarrel and hypocrisy, and people are very slow in the matter of self-realization. Manda, sumanda mataya. They're misled easily by so many bogus gurus and sadhus. Manda mataya, manda bhagya. They're unfortunate. They have to work just for earning some little money for maintaining themselves. They have to work 18 hours, 16 hours. No time for self-realization. Most important. Upadrutaha, above all, always disturbed. Always disturbed. There's some cause for disturbance in the mind. Everyone is disturbed. Everyone except the Buddhists. Always disturbed in the mind. So therefore, the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings particularly says, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama iva kevalam. Only by chanting the holy name of Hari in the form of the Hare Krishna mantra, we can actually achieve all perfection. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya. Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami, the end of Bhagavatam says, Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha param brajet. Can become free from this Kali, Kalmasha, Nashanam. It will destroy this Hare Krishna mantra, the holy name of Krishna. Chanting and hearing the holy name of Krishna will destroy all evil influence of Kali, all the miseries of material existence. Therefore, the way to remember Krishna in this present age is to chant and hear his holy name. And even chanting and hearing the holy name, because he's got millions of names, all the names are equal. Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. Krishna has invested his personal potencies in his holy names. But among all the names, this particular Hare Krishna mantra, consisting of 3 names, Hare Krishna Rama, arranged in the form of the Hare Krishna mantra in the Kali Santarana Upanishad, is the most recommended, most effective, is the best process of remembering Krishna through chanting and hearing the Hare Krishna mantra. So I'll stop here. Any questions? Quick questions. 3 minutes. Any questions? Yes. He wants us to tolerate these miseries arising out of sense contact, which is the material happiness and distress. So the same sense contact, when you eat nice sweet, the touch of that edible sweet, your tongue, so nice. Some piece of chili, accidentally, sometimes I, eat chili by mistake. So then, burns the tongue. It is not at all very pleasant. It's very, very distressful. So this type of sense contact, Krishna says, learn to tolerate. They come and go. They are temporary. While we are executing devotional service, though we may try to avoid unfavorable sense contact, we stay away from it. At least as adults, we do stay away from all such distressful conditions. But in spite of that, there will be some distresses will be forced upon us because we got this material body. So learn to tolerate them and remember that they come and go. They are not permanent. Like the winter and summer seasons. Winter is there, but this winter is not going to last forever. No, it will go. And then there will be the pleasant spring in between winter and summer. So spring is pleasant. Between summer and winter, there's a pleasant autumn where you get relief from heat. Spring we get relief from cold. Autumn we get relief from heat. It is in India. So here also you say fall, no? It's autumn season. Very nice, very pleasant, very beautiful. So like that, these seasons come and go. So don't become too much disturbed by these inconveniences due to sense contact. That's what Krishna says, tolerate. He doesn't say tolerate birth, dead, disease, birth. That we will make a solution. Krishna consciousness. Next question. Any other question? Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki